Alright guys, I'm back. I am going to do some YouTubes. I'm driving out to me mutters for supper. So I thought this would be a good time to do some videos. Right now I'm just on the edge of town. She lives a little ways out. She's always liked some space. It's about a 20-minute drive. It's not bad. So I figured I'd use this time to catch up on my YouTubes because I've been so busy lately. I have a job. I'm working at a box factory. As weird as that sounds. I got called by, I had no options. Nobody was calling me. I was afraid I was going to have to go back to, fucking something retarded like fast food. And, I mean, a job's a job, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to do it because I need a job. But it's very spirit-crushing at 35 to go in and do that kind of job if you know, I'm a welder, I've got all these qualifications, and I can't find anything. Anyway, they called me, this placement agency called me and said, I got 2 options for you. One of them is $14 an hour, which is decent, but everything else about it sucked. It was at night, all the time, and they can call you randomly, anytime. So, I mean, that stunk. And then they said the second option was you can go into this one that has a potential for a career. You work for 6 months, and if they like you, they'll hire you on. It's $11 an hour, which was less, but it's 48 hours a week. You work 7 a.m., 7 p.m. once, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. a second time. Then you get 24 hours off and you go in 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. twice. And then you get 4 days off. So if you get your 4 shifts, sometimes it's not busy, we don't go in. But usually we do. If you get your 4 shifts, it's 48 hours. You get time and a half for the 8 hours over the 40, which is nice for someone who's not an actual employee. And you get paid every week, which is very nice. And the other one, I mean, would have been overnight all the time, which I don't know if I could handle, a baby for sleep. And then this one here, I only have to do 2 overnight shifts. And I thought, okay, well, I'll get through it. And it's not really that bad. It's physical labor. It's not a lot of thinking. So you can go in there with less than a good amount of sleep and still do well. If I go in there and I'm really tired, I'll put my head down every break. You go in at 7 in the morning, or at night, you work 4 hours for your first part of your job. And that's the longest part. And that's why you're still fresh. So you get that out of the way. Then you go on break for a half hour. It's 11:30. And then you work 2.5 hours. And then it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you get another break. And then it's 2:30. You work for another 2.5 hours. It's 5 in the morning. And then it's 5:30 when you're done your break. It's an hour and a half till you get to go home. And the last half hour, since I'm at a box factory, we print boxes for various companies. Sometimes the boxes will not be, the machine just isn't set up properly. There'll be boxes that'll tear. They got imperfections in the printing, so we'll throw them out. They don't go in the garbage. They go in this bin that we push to the shredder. The shredder is fucking hilarious. It's like the trunk of a car, except it's lower to the ground. It's got a little conveyor belt. It's got a set of teeth that just mulch up cardboard. That's what it does. So we recycle all that shit. It just saves money that way. So anyway, it's at the end of the night when you're tired, you're still looking forward to this because, okay, I get to go home after this. And I still enjoy shredding. To me, it's still fun. So you can't overfeed it. Believe it or not, I thought, okay, this is a steel shredder. How can cardboard fight it? But if you put too much cardboard in, cardboard has a compression strength where if you put too much in at once, even the steel teeth will not be able to get through it, and it feels the pressure, and then it stops, and then it backs up the conveyor belt, and then it almost looks like it's spitting up, and then it tries it again. And what's hilarious is it's this thing is pretty big. It's about the size of a small car. It's got a giant vent that goes up the top that sucks up all the mulched up cardboard, and it's a very powerful air suction. And it goes up 20 feet or so, goes into this machine. I don't know what else happens to it. It goes all around. It comes out the other end, and it's like a bale of hay, except it's mulched up cardboard, and the machine even packs wires around it, so it's ready to be forklifted out. And it's brown, so it's like these giant square brown logs, so it's fucking hilarious how close to a human digestive system it is. Anyway, so the bins we push around are 400 pounds, which is not that bad. It's just a basic welded together bin that's, not quite the size of a car. But when it's full, it can weigh 700-800 pounds. You got to push this thing up a little onto the scale to weigh your waste at the end of the night. I don't know, they keep track of waste for various reasons to try to reduce it, I guess. But anyway, they have this thing right beside the conveyor belt, and this is about waist high, you're just throwing all this shit from a bin onto a conveyor belt. there's a vent thing that's on the floor right beside it, and this is for sucking up all these little pieces. Like, say if you got a bunch of papers that's too small to physically pick up, you can sweep all of these little shreds right in front of this thing and turn on this suction. This thing is so powerful. If you put your leg in front of it and stand, your pant leg will flap like a fucking flag in the wind. Like, it'll go. I was sweeping one time with a buddy of mine that I work with, and I had one of those big wide brooms, and I'm trying to push all the shit into the mouth of this thing so it would pull everything in and suck it up. And the head of the broom, which is, I don't know, 4 feet wide, it came off the handle and got sucked up. All you heard was bang, 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 bang as it went up the fucking the vent. And then all this other smashing and banging, and we both look at each other like jackass style, like, oh. And then one of the employees comes over and says, did you lose the broom head? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that happens all the time. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we get paid every week. It's a good job. It's the most challenging job I've ever had. Like, physically, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it just because it's such a... Like, it's like you're throwing a cinder block every 3 seconds for hours at a time. It's very physical. But getting used to it, the first part was just being able to stand. Because if you're not used to standing, you have to get used to it all over again. At the end of my first 12-hour shift, I was limping because it hurt so much. And then as the days went by, now that's not even a question. Then it got to be, okay, can I physically handle this when it gets really busy? Because it's hard sometimes. Like, my ribs will get sore, and I've been fucking slinging cardboard handfuls into this machine for fucking, 7 hours. I'm sweating, and you're not allowed to have, like, you can have I just got a water bottle from the company. Like, I needed a water bottle because I, don't want to run. There's a water fountain because it gets hot in there, but, I mean, you can't, sometimes you don't have time to run back and forth and do all that. So I got a water bottle now, which is good. The company provides us with this stuff called Squincher. It's like Gatorade, but it's in the lunchroom, so you can take a squirt of that in your bottle, and it just, a little bit of carbohydrates and salts and shit. Anyway, it's a really good job. Like, and the guys I work with, everybody is cool. They're very laid back. Everyone's like been there for a while. The temps, we come and go because there's a big turnover rate for the temps, but. The guys that work there are all really decent. My boss is good. He gets annoyed easy, but sometimes I'll do something. I won't do something wrong, but he'll assume I did. But then he'll very quickly get over and go, okay, that's not your fault. He'll give it up to you absolutely if you're doing your job. He'll really pat you on the back, which I don't mind working hard. It's not like I need to be coddled or whatever. But if I'm doing a good job, once in a while, it's good to hear, you're doing good, and that actually gives me a confidence boost, and then I start hammering away. So another reason that I haven't done any videos in a while is because it's like going through every day is like philosophical and existential journey. Like, I've had a lot of ups and downs recently, and all of it has not been, it's not like, I broke my arm. It's been psychological stuff I've been, trying to corner and get rid of, that stuff I worry about that I don't need to worry about. And lately I've made some very good progress because I've worked 12-hour shifts, so it's a lot of repetitive work. You can sit there and just daydream. Once you get into the rhythm, I sit there and daydream about all kinds of shit. So I've been telling myself, okay, you need to work on yourself. You need to figure out where this, if you get depressed once in a while, or if something really bothers you, you need to, figure it out, because you got lots of time. It's a perfect opportunity. It's kind of like sitting in a room for 12 hours and someone says, you're just going to sit there and think and figure yourself out. Okay. So I've been working on a couple of different things. I started getting panicky a little bit there for a while. And I realized it's because, and it takes a lot of thinking, like I just got to keep grinding the problem until I come up with a solution. Apparently you put off energy like all the time, and this energy can be used to focus on anything, like work or whatever. If you're negative, if you're always looking at the negative and you're always, everything's negative, you attract negativity. You will, that's just what happens. And there's no karma. Like, you could be a mass murderer and have a very long and fulfilling life. There's no such thing as karma. But there is something to being positive, because when you're negative all the time, it's almost like you're attracting the worst outcome and everything. And I was finding everything just was crapping out on me. Like, relationships weren't working and blah, 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 Anyway, then that was like not the biggest difference. Not like, oh my god, I'm positive now and everything's perfect. But there is a noticeable difference. All of a sudden, all these bad things stop happening to me. Like, I get frustrated very easily. Like, I'll put something down, it'll fall over, and I'll put this thing here, it'll fall over in a 1 in a million shot, knock 3 other things over, and I get, like, I haven't been frustrated like that in a while because I've been calm. Because once I get frustrated, I turn negative, and then, like, everything's attracted to me. Like, things will stick to me, everything's all over me. I'm like, it just makes me more angry, and it takes me forever to calm down, and it pretty much ruins my day. But ever since I started getting frustrated, okay, that's just one frustrating thing. There's no need to lump it all together. And then it stops. Like, it hasn't happened in a long time. So it's funny how your mind has an effect on reality. As fucking stupid and nonsensical as it is, it's absolutely true. Because there are some people that you'll meet that just attract violence. And I'm not sure if it's because maybe deep down inside they're not a good person, or they're just, that's their aura, like just someone will see them and just go, I want to punch that guy. And then some people are lucky, they'll play like pool, and they're always, like, they're not even that good of a pool player, but they're always sinking balls by accident, that kind of thing. So I mean, I don't know if it's a case of someone just hasn't sat down and really analyzed themselves and gotten to know themselves and really mastered themselves. That's what I've been working on lately. First it was, don't be negative. That helped a little bit. That was good. Then I did a confidence thing where I was tired one day and I was only going to get a few hours sleep. And just, I don't know why, I'm half ready to fall asleep. And all of a sudden in my head, I just say, you know what? I'm 100% confident I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be good to go. And I was. It wasn't like I was fucking Iron Man or whatever, but I was like, this is a good exercise. Like, anything that I go into work, I'm like, I'm 100% confident I'm going to handle all my duties at work. All of a sudden, man, it puts a shield on you. Like, I noticed all this negative stuff, like, really, like, the being positive thing helped, but the confidence thing acts like a shield. It's really weird. All of a sudden, nothing bad has happened to me in a long time. I mean, I still hit myself at work, that kind of thing, but, just bending over, I hit my tailbone one day. I forgot about that. Anyway, it's healed finally. So yeah, it's just doing that 100% confidence thing. It doesn't mean you're better than anybody else, but it just means even if you suck at something, you're still going to do it to the best of your goddamn abilities, and that'll make you perform better because you're relaxed. It's the opposite is not being confident. It makes everything harder. It makes everything worse. So it's a good thing to practice. And then the latest thing I've come up with that is like the icing on the cake is I learned the other day you got to master yourself, because you can't master the world. You can't master another person. All you can do is master yourself. Bruce Lee actually said this. But now the concept is finally really sunk in. That, like, if you're, and you don't even, I'm not even talking physically, you don't even have to be a ninja, but mentally, if you know yourself inside and out, you know where your weaknesses are, you know where your strengths are, you can turn your weaknesses into, not weaknesses, but just normal, and then you can turn your strengths into super abilities. Just fucking believe, like, it's not just believing in yourself, that's one part of it, but you have to mentally analyze yourself to the point where you really go, okay, I know what I am as a person, because I sat for years just not knowing really, like, who the fuck am I, like, what you have to do this type of journey to be able to be a complete person. And I mean, I know guys that haven't changed since they've been 18, and they're doing well in their lives because, they knew themselves since they were 18. They haven't really grown much more as a person, but they're a complete person. Like, it's, maybe I'm just far behind, I don't know. But then there's those that haven't learned anything new in 20 years, and they're just struggling, and they hate their life, they're miserable. It's fucking, you have to, like, a girlfriend isn't going to fix all your problems. It's not going to make you happy. You have to fix yourself first, and then everything else will fall in place. So that's how it works. This is all the shit I've been discovering lately. And I figure if somebody else listens to this video and goes, oh my god, I'm going through the same thing, and now I get it, hey, that's good. That's what I'm here for. Woo! So anyway, I'm going to do a few more videos. I'm going to be at Mommy soon, so I'll talk to you guys later.